Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This week's parsha is Parshat Korach. Korach is mentioned in Pirkei Avot. Who knows where in Pirkei Avot it's mentioned? It's mentioned in the Mishnah, which talks about there are two types of arguments. There are arguments for the sake of heaven and arguments that are not for the sake of heaven. And if it's an argument for the sake of heaven, sofa lihitkayem. And the Mishnah proceeds and explains what is an example of a machloket l'shem shamayim, a argument for the sake of heaven, the machloket between Hillel and Shammai. And then the Mishnah continues and says, would you like to know a machloket which is not for the sake of heaven? Sofa eina litkayem, Korach va'adato. Now there's an obvious contradiction in these two examples. Hillel and Shammai, they were on both sides of the argument. Korach va'adato were the same side. The Mishnah should have written Korach and Moshe. Why does the Mishnah say Korach va'adato? And perhaps that's precisely the difference between the two. The Ovadia Bar Tanura, the Rav Bar Tanura, explains that what does it mean, sofa litkayem, that the end, the objective, will be in lasting. It means that Hillel and Shammai, despite the fact that they were on both sides of the argument, they really were united. They were united in reaching the truth. They both pursued the emes, the truth. Korach va'adato was all about self-aggrandizement. It was all about them. Therefore, you can't say Korach and Moshe. You can only say Korach va'adato. It was all about them, and therefore, sofa lo litkayem. There's nothing that's going to be everlasting from that type of dispute. This reminds me of the following story that I read in a horrible, horrible biography about the life of Rabbi Meir Kahana, entitled Hail Kahana, by Robert Friedman. He opens up the book, I believe it's in the introduction, where he says that Rav Meir Kahana was a brilliant legal scholar. He went to NYU Law School, or maybe Brooklyn College, I don't remember, but he was in a fine law school, and he graduated at the top of his class. I believe he was number 2. Despite the fact that he was a brilliant legal mind, he took the New York bar exam 4 times. Each time he failed it. After failing it the 4th time, he said, I'm not cut out to be a lawyer. He became a pulpit rabbi. He became the rabbi of the Young Israel of Howard Beach. There are a few chuvot of his to Rav Moshe Feinstein in Igrot Moshe that one can see before he became a politician. And the question is, why couldn't he pass the New York bar? In the Israeli bar exam, you're simply asked to spit back information and answer multiple choice questions. In most states, that's the case. Not in the state of New York. In New York State, you're given cases that you have to analyze. And you can't analyze only one side. You have to argue both sides of the case to test your legal acumen. And Rav Meir Kahana, Kidarko B'Kodesh, could only see his side of the truth. And therefore, he never was able to pass the bar exam, and the rest is history. Shabbat Shalom.